Hello, everyone. I just wanted to just make sure one last time to see that everyone can hear me all right. And very briefly, we can jump right in. How's that sound? Awesome. Hello, hello. Alrighty. So, let's jump right in. So, first off, I wanted to thank you all. Hello. Thank you. Actually, I will lower the volume as we speak. All right. Oof. All right. How's that sounding? Not too invasive? All right, so I'll wait for you guys to let me know how audio's doing. Much better. Excellent. So hello, welcome. Let's see. So as we go in, I would like to say hello and welcome to the Virtual World's Best Practices Lecture presentation called Astronauts of the Earth, The Rise of the Space Librarian. As this conference theme is the flaming rise of the Phoenix, the ideas posed in this lecture aim to inspire an unexpected, transformative, and daring mission to bridge the gap between library and information sciences, also referred to as LAS, and space exploration. As founder and therefore ambassador to a startup organization that I've cultivated, Astronauts of the Earth, AE for short, AE's latest art project paves a fiery path for space librarians' goals to bring back valuable knowledge and experience from outer space to Earth for physical and virtual education, adding insurmountable value and power to art, information, and creativity in the age of space travel. This proposal fits the Phoenix Rising Conference theme because the topics of AE The proposal fits the Phoenix Rising Conference theme because the topic of AE's mission of space librarianship is to rise from the ashes of previous stigma, misconception, and limitations surrounding LIS, space exploration. It breaks intellectual boundaries in a humanitarian manner that flamingly soars into the final frontier, giving much needed courage, hope, and inspiration to future generations of students who may discover that the seemingly wondrous and unimaginable can happen through the virtual looking glass. So before we begin, I would like to give a special thanks to Bethany, the virtual version, for introducing me to this beautiful artistic design and intellectual immersivity that spaces such as Second Life and the Virtual World's Best Practices Conference provide for growing information professionals to develop, cultivate, and share ideas with this incredible audience here today. Had it not been for Bethany the Virtual Version's knowledgeable guiding hand in immersive education spaces, I would never have crossed paths with VWBPE's very own programs chair, L.V. Luster, for devising this extensive event. Because of LV, she's also, thank you, yes, for devising this extensive event and allowing me to share with you all the incredible findings and bold academic missions for prospective information professionals such as myself and all of you here today that are setting out to accomplish for the future of libraries, information science, and space travel. Not only has L.V. Luster provided me this incredible opportunity to present this lecture for you all today, She and VWBPE have allowed me an incredibly knowledgeable and patient mentor, Electra Panthar. Thank you. Electra Panthar, who has helped me set up this presentation, has helped me set up this presentation, teaching me just how complex and truly beautiful everything has turned out to be, thanks to its builders, mentors, and VWBPE committee, and all of you here today. Again, thank you all for being here today and for the incredible contributions you've made in making today's Phoenix Rising lecture a reality. So let's begin. As I mentioned in our introductory first slide, I'm a founder and ambassador to startup organization, Astronauts of the Earth. Some of you may have already been wondering, well, space librarianship poses many questions as it is, but what is the AE project that houses this field of study? These are all excellent questions, I might add. So to help build this developmental, overarching scope of what AE aims to do now and in the future, it only seems logical and necessary to provide a definition of what this program is and what it aims to accomplish. The Astronauts of the Earth project is a program and haven for patrons such as prospective audience such as yourself, who share a love and appreciative enthusiasm for space and are passionate about traveling to outer space. 2. The Astronauts of the Earth project also aims to be a library and research facility where researchers who believe in this program's mission will create original works consisting of research applications, including but not limited to the scientific method, literary analysis, open discussion, peer review, and sharing of knowledge for distribution to diverse information communities interested in this kind of curriculum. Essentially, this program is a spaceport that allows its users to experience and relate to outer space travel through the arts, the sciences, and all forms of creative innovations where experiencing outer space can make a positive impact in education, including the field of space librarianship. In developing a space program curriculum, In developing a space program, curriculum, art center, and research facility relating to the field of space librarianship, the purpose of the Astronauts of the Earth project is to bridge the accessibility gap between library and information science and commercial space travel. We do along these lines, we also use innovation, creativity, art, and science to find sustainable solutions for the environment through space travel, as well as virtual world and reality resources. And 3, we also demonstrate the relevancy of LIS across fields not limited to engineering and computer science, which is often associated with space travel. Furthermore, today's lecture teaches us that we are experiencing a new and unconventional era of librarianship, an era and field of LIS practice that can only be made possible if there are organizational efforts such as Astronauts of the Earth put in place that create these bridges between competent LIS professionals and exposure to and from outer space for the good of humanity. In doing so, we gain awareness of an exponentially growing relevancy of LIS application in space exploration and begin to discuss networking solutions for successfully engaging LAS space exploration missions. All right, so the next question I asked myself in preparing this presentation was, what does the journey of astronauts of the Earth and this unsuspecting rise of space librarianship have to do with Second Life? Well, the answer is more than we realize. Let me explain that. Second Life, and generally virtual spaces for that matter, offer untapped learning perception that can contribute to positive impacts in education, very much like the untapped potential of bringing back experience from outer space back to classroom. Based on my engagement with Second Life, or to be precise, my engagement with virtual worlds, also referred to as VWs, and virtual reality, VR, technology, my insights indicate this. 1. Virtual worlds and virtual reality simulations technology are some of many emerging technologies and trends that can be utilized to benefit our community and continue to be an increasingly prominent aspect of everyday life, work, and culture. 2. They are heavily referenced and utilized in the developing stages and application stages as well of space-related projects, including the design of spacecrafts, such as 3D printing, aircraft design, etc., astronautic simulation training, sustainability initiatives, etc. 3. Technologies and information for space travel and outer space environments also offer untapped opportunities for providing real-world solutions to real-world problems. Now, I want to clarify that the real world is being in a virtual world is real, and being in the physical world is real. So I want to make that's what I mean by real world. Human beings on Earth trying to figure out solutions. To provide a more holistic context of what these points suggest, I will tell you my academic research journey that led me here to the development and prominence of space librarianship as a relevant field of study. When I first started out in Second Life, my creative research investigations focused primarily on virtual worlds and their information communities. People like you here today, you, listening in on today's lecture in this wondrous and grand VWBPE hall. That you have all created and currently inhabited by skilled virtual builders, organizers, lifelong learners, and information professionals across the world at their disposal. As in, yes, thank you, exactly, yes, excellent points. What you all have taught me is that virtual technology users, such as yourselves, are widely complex, diverse, and each offer a unique set of perceptual, cognitive insights about humanity within virtual settings. You have this profound ability to develop, acquire, and exchange highly relevant information to their intended users, be it an online friend, a virtual online student, research colleague, etc. To harness difficult skills, you have this ability to code. You develop in virtual architectural design, mastering SL program software navigation, and above all, you place the highest security around truth, facts, and knowledge expansion via these virtual worlds and realities that would otherwise be difficult to access due to lack of awareness or availability, inaccessibility, or even non-existent in the physical world. let's see. As I am now part of this niche demographic, with my particular focus in space exploration, my insights and analytical research connections indicate this. Many of the mannerisms of virtual engagement, information exchange, and avatar navigation simulate human engagement in outer space. For example, in Second Life, our avatars have the ability to simultaneously fly, float, or hover about and communicate with others using communication interfaces, technologies such as chat, voice, speaker, and messaging, to name a few. Much like engagement in SL, Second Life, a research team in outer space also has capabilities to fly, float, hover, and exchange knowledge using communication interface technologies specific to their space program, spacecraft, suit, equipment, and program software. To provide an extreme theoretical example that plays with astrophysics and quantum theories discussed by none other than Neil deGrasse Tyson, and I pray this never happens to anyone, because according to his theories, if one ever has the misfortune of coming into contact with, how do I put it, one or more black holes in outer space, specifically, should one black hole attempt to swallow one another, space and time is skewed to extremes or parts of the physical self are stretched and violently swirling simultaneously between the past and the future. That's a lot to take in, so to provide a crude visual example of this in Second Life, this violent and very painful experience occurring is akin to one's avatar glitching, where parts of the avatar's body is suspended in one place in the past, while the other part of the avatar's body is moving along with the user's cursor in the present time. While I intend to keep all exposure of black hole collision as far away as possible, I believe that engaging in outer space and engaging in virtual worlds offer complementary simulated experience of one another and can actually provide positive, impactful experiences for creative learning and education. Furthermore, research and engagement in Second Life technologies and their fascinating communities offer so much potential for valuable knowledge expansion in virtual and physical spaces. All right. Now that you have a general idea of what this program is about and what space librarianship entails, I wanted to start discussing what current projects future space librarians such as myself are currently working on that aim to embody this program's mission objectives and field of knowledge expansion. Thanks to the incredible resources and support networks via Second Life, I am able to start putting these mission objectives into practice through projects that, one, use VWs, VRs for creating for ideally sustainable, friendly, fun, creative, and innovative learning spaces that are, of course, space-themed. They, too, create simulation prototypes that are either 2D or 3D that advocate the bonded bridge for LAS space travel and aim to offer a compiled bibliography of works related to LIS and space sciences, for which patrons such as yourself may refer to in order to guide their own research in space librarianship. My current work in progress, which I failed to include in this lecture, which is my truest of apologies, is called Gyrobob. Based on the images here, I will give you a starting narrative of how I came up with this design, how it works, and why it matters in relation to today's lecture. Gyrobob is a spherical, gyroscopic wind turbine center whose blades rotate concentrically around a spherical life space, meaning that at the center of this turbine, the sphere is a sustainable space that houses human life, like trees, earthly inhabitants, water, energy, etc. All elements necessary for sustainable life outside of Earth's uninhabitable parameters. Based on the images provided here, my inspiration lies in the realism of high-pixel, high-res video games such as The Preserved Tree in Mirror's Edge Catalyst, The World Tree in Sword Art Online, and in particular in one of my personal favorites, the science fiction and fantasy genre movie, Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, in the city of Minas Tirith, where a courtyard is suspended several hundred feet into the sky, housing a deep green courtyard with a tree in the middle. The exterior foundation of Gyrobob is a combination of a gyroscope and a wind turbine. The inside houses a hybrid space between a library and a research facility. Not only does it visually represent continual harmony, it aims to function as a sustainable space that can be replicated in outer space for sustainable life projects as well. In order to see this location of Gyrobob, I will provide the SL URL here in chat, and you can access it after the lecture is completed at San Jose State University iSchool Second Life location called VCARA, Virtual Center for Archives and Records Administration. Now, I've made a lot of connections between astronauts of the Earth and space librarianship within virtual platforms. And I also wanted to include what initiatives have already occurred in the physical. Many of the connections between the field of study and space travel developed during an SJSU iSchool course. I'm currently a graduate student there called Information 282 Seminar in Library Management with a particular focus in sustainability. I had the privilege of being instructed by Dr. Kimberly Buckley in sustainability studies as they relate to library management. Because of my interest in topics and themes related to space travel, during the completion of the sustainability course, I happened across a resource discussing Jessica Watkins. For those who are not familiar with Jessica Watkins, she is a NASA astronaut, geologist, aquanaut, and first Black woman to be completing an International Space Station long-term mission starting this April 2022. She has also explored the feasibility of simulating Martian soil for a research project by putting together earthly ingredients for soil-like material that could be used to test the viability of plant life on Mars. In my journey towards becoming a space librarian, she is my role model and inspires me to fill out space travel applications where I can find them. The first of many applications was an OMA sweepstakes aboard a Virgin Galactic spacecraft with 2 seats available. I reached out to fellow SL user, mentor, and online director of learning, Bethany the virtual version, whether she would be interested in boarding alongside me, should I, by some miracle, win this lottery golden ticket. Of course, I did not win, obviously, but that is why we are here today, so that more opportunities will be granted for LIS professionals with interests and ideas about space travel and its positive impact in learning perception. So, essentially, if we don't start somewhere, nothing happens, right? So we keep going forward, and we have to take every opportunity we can. All right, on to the next slide. So a new year is upon us, and as you are grasping the sheer size and scope of astronauts of the Earth and the rise of and a need for space librarianship, I wanted to build bridges with geniuses in this area of expertise. So what's something us virtual users can look forward to in the future? In a show of hands, how many of you are familiar with the incredible Dr. Bolstorff? He wrote The Coming of Age in Second Life. Any answers in the chat? Yes, no, yes, okay, yes, awesome, okay, we've got a few. How many no's? Probably more. No worries, no worries. Excellent, that's why we're here. If you don't know, that's okay. Right, it's interesting. So to give you context about Dr. Bolstorff, he is one of the incredible, articulate, and well-written anthropologists who put Second Life on the map for movie beginners such as myself. I really encourage you to read his books. It will help you understand the sheer scope and size of Second Life and its users. So as a once undergraduate student taking a cultural anthropology course, I had the privilege and honor of being introduced to his book, Coming of Age in Second Life. Now, as I rediscover my love for virtual worlds, I own his books, truly value his work, and I'm setting up an event in process that I invite you all to join in for the future for virtual discussion and a kawaii cafe in Second Life. His work is a cornerstone of reference for contemplating researchers in Second Life and its users. I had the courage of reaching out to him via LinkedIn, and he's a terribly friendly and helpful individual, such as you all here today, who always loves engaging with Second Life communities, always dedicated to the mission of VWs and its users. He's currently writing a huge book publication alongside research on Intellivision video game systems in the 80s, the research relating to COVID and virtual worlds, virtual world research in Animal Crossing, and Second Life as well. How many of you are familiar with Animal Crossing? It's okay if you don't. Personally, I love Animal Crossing. I think it's the most adorable thing. Awesome. That's nice. So, and now the time has come where AE wants to know his inside. into the coming of age for virtual space librarianship. Yes, super kawaii. It's nothing but awesome. So for you all, I ask you to keep a patient eye and ear peeled while these events are put together for your interest and research need. Now, as we are coming up at the end of our session, I wanted to thank you for taking the time to attend this lecture, because astronauts of the Earth and your fellow space librarian are here to take on the space frontier to expand the humanitarian knowledge and apply emerging skills in the wake of space librarianship via space travel, creative innovation, and research compilation. If there are any of you, as we're rounding out to the very end, I feel like things just flew by so fast. If there are any questions, comments, ideas, anything you would like to ask for future discussion or right now, please message me via Second Life, email, LinkedIn. Please in the chat. I would love to hear your thoughts so far. And I will provide information as we speak. Yay, thank you. Also, for those who didn't catch it the first time, let me send you the SLU URL to GyroBob. I'll include it in the chat right now. Thank you guys so much. And lastly, furthermore, thank you all for the incredible individuals here today. Yes, thank you, Bethany. You know, being here today, you are supporting your space librarian. You're making it possible and safe for us to complete these future missions. So cheers, everyone. Well done. Please visit GyroBob, and if you have any questions, let's talk. Thank you again.